G'day everyone, Nick here with episode 7 of movies that will enhance your DVD and Blu-ray collection. So this episode I thought I would cover quite a few movies in the comic book superhero category, if there's such a thing. So I thought I would go, this is really hard to recommend which comic book movies to get, because I think it sort of depends on what kind of comic books you read when you were younger and what you like and what you don't like, but I'll sort of try and give you an idea of what the good flicks are and shitty flicks are. So I thought I'd start off with the best one, the big guy, Superman. I haven't got all the Superman movies like the original ones, but I do have the original one with Christopher Reeve in it, like the first one, Superman the movie. That's got Christopher Reeve and Marlon Brando in it. I like this film immensely. I saw this film as a child, so it sort of stuck with me. And I also have Superman Returns, which was pretty crummy if you ask me, and a cartoon type of version, an animated movie, Superman vs. Doomsday. And I actually read The Death of Superman, and I thought this was really crap, to tell you the truth. So out of these three, if I had to recommend which Superman movie to get, I'd recommend having the, if you don't want, of course you could have them all, but if you only had to pick one, I'd pick the original one with Christopher Reeve and Marlon Brando in it. I think it's the best one yet. So hopefully though that new one I've heard about they're making will be good. So let's, fingers crossed. Alright. Superman. There's been tons of Batman flicks made, tons of them. You can get like the entire anthology from the 1989 to 1997, like DVD packs. They come with all the movies, like the original one with Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton, and then Batman Returns with Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer, and Batman Forever, where that one had Jim Carrey, Tommy Lee Jones and Nicole Kidman in it, and the disaster that nearly destroyed the Batman franchise, Batman and Robin, with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. I think the only thing worth watching that movie for is Uma Thurman's in it, and she looks hot as playing Poison Ivy, but still it's a pretty crummy flick. I picked this up really cheap for like 20 bucks for the entire collection, and I think I've only ever watched them all once, so I don't know if I'll ever do it again. However, Christopher Nolan's Batmans are absolutely brilliant. I've got them on Blu-ray. I reckon these two would be the ones to get. The Dark Knight and Batman Begins, brilliant films. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that, because I'm sure everyone knows they're brilliant, but that's what I'd have in my, if I could only have one style, I'd have Christopher Nolan's Batmans, and they look brilliant on Blu-ray as well. And this is an animated Batman flick, and I think it's pretty cool. Hey, it's like a bunch of short stories, and I really enjoyed it. So I would seriously suggest the Christopher Nolan and the animated ones, but if you like me and like to just collect, they're all pretty cool. So the Batmans are good comic book movies, as you probably know. As I thought, X-Men's are alright. I guess, I think you should at least have one X-Men in your collection, considering that it was the first X-Men movie that really reset the entire comic book genre movie, into motion. So there's X-Men Origins, Wolverine. I personally didn't really like it that much. And then there's, of course, X-Men, X-Men 2, oh, bad thing, and X-Men 3. And what I personally think is, I don't like X-Men 2, X-Men 3, or X-Men Origins Wolverine, but I do like the first one, X-Men, so I would suggest getting that one, adding it to your collection, the first X-Men. However, I did see a trailer for X-Men Origins with Magneto and Charles Xavier in it this afternoon, and that trailer looks alright. So hopefully maybe that will, you know, pick it up a bit better. Then there's the Spider-Man trilogy. Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3. I actually really like Spider-Man 1 and 2. I thought 3 was crap, so I would suggest getting Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 in your collection. I really don't think you need number 3. Like, you could, I mean, it's up to you, but I mean, I just don't think it complements it at all. These were two, I never read these comic books when I was younger, and I'm glad I didn't. Hey, and the movies just, you know, if you ask me, suck, but I would avoid Daredevil and Elektra at all costs. They were just terribly boring movies. This is an iffy one. I personally couldn't stand this movie, Watchmen. But I never read the graphic novel, but I do know there's a huge following for this Watchmen movie, but I personally didn't like it, but it's one of those comic book movies, so I think you'll either love it or hate it. I didn't really. I was in the second category, hate. There's the Hulk. I actually like the Hulk movies. I mean, they're a bit boring, but when the Hulk comes out, it gets really exciting. I do love the special effects. There's, you know, the Hulk, Ang Lee's Hulk, and who directed this one? I don't even know. Who cares? But it's got Edward Norton, Liv Tyler, Tim Roth, and William Hurt in it, The Incredible Hulk. As a movie, I think it's a bit boring, but when the Hulk comes out, it's pretty cool, and the special effects were really good. And there's also an animated movie out, Hulk Versus, and it's Hulk versus Wolverine and Hulk versus Thor. And I thought it was okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. So definitely worth checking out. I think you could probably do with at least one Hulk movie. I don't know which one to suggest. I think they're all pretty much the same. I mean, to me, it's just boring until the Hulk comes out for 5 seconds, you know. And then, but when he comes out, it's pretty cool. So I reckon you know, I don't know. It's up to you. Here's one too I did like. I never read the comic books either, but I do like the movies. I like Hellboy 1 and Hellboy 2. I think that's pretty cool cover, eh? See how that changes? I thought Hellboy 2 and 1 were both really cool flicks. I would recommend them. And I left my personal favourite till last. I mean, I loved the comic books. The Punisher was my favourite comic book growing up. I used to read that continuously. And there's 3 Punisher flicks out there. There's the one that came out in the early 90s with Dolph Lundgren in it. It's terrible. It's garbage. I don't even have that one. Then there was the when they did the redo with Thomas Jane and John Travolta, The Punisher. Now the only thing I like about this DVD is the box with that skull on the cover. I think it's a cool picture. I thought the movie was fucking dreadful. I would not have this one. But they did not long ago come out and make Punisher Warzone, this one, and I thought it was awesome. They finally nailed the Punisher. Hey, I don't know how come they have so much difficulty trying to capture what the Punisher's all about, but I believe Punisher Warzone did. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's probably one of the most violent flicks you'll ever see. I absolutely loved it. So, and that's it. It's a bit of a long episode today, but that's what's out there. There's probably a few more out there that I haven't, but just to give you an idea, if I could only pick a few comic book movies to have in your collection, I would definitely get Christopher Nolan's Batmans. I would get Punisher Warzone, and I would get the Hellboys, Spider-Man 1 and 2, and the first X-Men, because that was pretty good. And that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope it's provided you with a bit of help, and I'll see you in Volume 8.